your seatbelt. It's going to be a bumpy ride.
Chrissie is hilarious.
Chrissie, have you ever heard of the comedian Basha K. Ali?
No, that sounds like something you yell at before you blow up a plane.
30 seconds remaining.
But you know what, good thing to say, I dabbled in stand-up or something. I haven't been disrespectful to you at all.
I was very confused by the title, Everything Everywhere All at Once, because that's also what we call it when Ash takes off his shirt. I shouldn't be up here. I should be in school on the other side of the ocean. Woo! Welcome to another episode of the Chrissie Mayr podcast. We are on iTunes, YouTube, Spotify, SoundCloud, Rumble, Rockfin, all the great places where podcasts are sold. I want to do a quick shout out to some of my stand-up dates. This weekend, I'll be in Rochester, New York for DabbleCon. There will be a stand-up show, live podcast tapings, a meet and greet, the Dabby Awards, all kicking off this Friday, February 3rd and Saturday, February 4th at Comedy at the Carlson. Get your tickets now. This event might almost be sold out. I don't even know. But if you're coming, I will see you in Rochester. Then I'm heading to California at the end of the month. I'll be in Pasadena, headlining in Elks Lodge. Yeah, baby. Thursday, February 23rd at 8 o'clock in Pasadena with Lila Hart. She'll be opening for me. Then we're heading to San Diego. I'll be doing shows at the Mic Drop Comedy Club in San Diego, Friday, February 24th and Saturday, the 25th, also with Lila. Then I'm going to Staten Island to headline The Reef at Paradise Island, Friday, April 7th. Then I'm in Jersey, April 8th, in Morris Plains at Tiff's Ale House, also known as the Dojo of Comedy. That's on Saturday, April 8th. Then I'll be back in Dallas at Hyenas, May 5th and 6th. That's at Hyenas in Dallas. And then I'll be in Houston for Anime Matsuri, August 10th through the 13th, and headlining The Secret Group in Houston, Friday, August 11th. So this will be kind of like a little after party after the convention. We can all just go have some drinks and some lols and hang. All right, cool. I'm so excited. I think I have had this guest on once before, but it's great to have her back because it seems like censorship is really like the theme of the day. So I'm so excited. She is a content creator. She has a fantastic YouTube channel. She also does outside media for timcast.com. Welcome, Josie, the Redheaded Libertarian.
Thank you for having me back, Chrissie. I
Oh
did
my
do this once with you, I
gosh.
think a little over a year ago.
My God, so much has changed. So
Yes.
much. No, things. Yet some things are the same. But we were just talking before we went live. It's the funniest thing to me that people have been saying to you that they think that you're photoshopped, that they don't think you're real. And
Yes.
and people get angry, like they'll go and they'll try to find photos of you because they just don't believe that. I guess what you're pretty and you have a small waist and you're supposed to be obese, Josie. Come on, you
I
didn't get the
know.
memo?
I know I'm supposed to be fat.
Mhm.
So yeah, I have people come at me with these, and it's just been the kind of common thing with my haters is proving that I don't exist. So it was most recently when I hit 300,000 followers. I shared a picture of me in a green dress it was just a pretty dress. Girls share dresses for each other. We don't really care about anybody else. Um, and the majority was really great feedback. And then there was uh, then the photo started going viral. Um, and it's got like almost 2 million views now.
Really?
And it's just me in a green dress. Yeah, I'm not kidding. And so that's, kind of the hate started piling on after that. Like oh, she's photoshopped something like, that her proportions are off, or and it's just like, no, I've got freakish measurements. I actually have the exact
And
measurement.
like this picture
Yeah,
too. It's like
and this
you're just
one.
hot. You're like barely wearing any makeup, but like this is a real photo.
That's real. Like this, I'm just trying to figure out what. Yeah, getting hate for that one. Yeah, well, my measurements are actually exactly the same as Marilyn Monroe's from 1954 on her military card. I have the same height, the same shoe size, I'm the same weight, I have the same,
What?
yeah, exactly to a T. I'm exactly the same measurement. So it's kind of funny that people say eat a sandwich or something when I'm like, literally have Marilyn Monroe's measurements from 1954.
Do you
She
think they were
fluctuated a little bit after that.
Do you think they were telling Marilyn Monroe to eat a sandwich? Or like eat
Oh
a
God,
what were
no.
they eating back then? Eat an English muffin with jam.
Yeah, she used to have like raw eggs and like in a drink them. She ate a lot of protein. She didn't really like carbs.
Yeah, she did. Like JFK's. I heard that what's her face? Jackie Kennedy found Marilyn Monroe's underpants in their bed.
Scandalous.
Yeah. I think that was I gave my sister because my sister's a teacher, and I think I gave her like a fun facts about presidents, and like that was in that book.
Excellent. That's the kind of stuff we need to be learning in school.
Wow. So you have Marilyn Monroe measurements, but like that's the thing is her weight did fluctuate, and I don't know.
It did, especially like going late into as she got older, into her 30s, and she had 3 pregnancies, miscarried. So the photos of her in the white bathing suit, just like her famous ones. Sorry, my dog.
It's your dog's birthday.
It is my dog's birthday today, so he's a little spoiled today, and he's trying to get a little more attention than normal.
Do you think he knows it's his birthday?
I think he knows I'm being special to him. I'm so sorry. I hope he doesn't start barking or getting obnoxious. You gotta lay down, okay? I'm
guessing
sorry,
this is just from the sounds of this dog. I'm guessing this is like
the
50 pounds or more. Yeah.
Yeah, he's over 100. There he is. Can you excuse me for 1 second?
Yeah, sure. I'm gonna
just put him in his pen.
We're gonna take guesses at what kind of dog it is. I'm gonna guess German Shepherd. That sounds like a German Shepherd bark.
Come here. Good boy. Good boy. Come here.
Luckily, Muffin and Waffles don't bark.
Come here.
Unless there's like a dog on the TV, then Waffles will bark at it. Muffin's basically a person, so she's kind of over it. She knows the TV is the TV and it's not real.
Come on. Good boy. Good boy. Let's not jump. Josie fight with her dog.
Oh, is it a German Shepherd? Now I'm like dying to know.
He's a lab mix with a Shepherd and Saint Bernard in Vizsla.
Ooh,
you gonna be
that's
good?
a big dog.
All right, you go lay down now. Oh no. Yes, he's a big dog. Come on.
I actually have a Bill of Rights folded up somewhere that I got. I don't remember where I was. I should put it up, but then I'll be like copying Josie here.
No, that's okay. Everybody should have the Bill of Rights in their home. Come on.
It's hard to read though. The print is so small.
Are you going to be good? You going to stay here and be good now? You have barks and you got to go in your pen, okay? No barks.
He's like,
okay.
It's my birthday.
I'm gonna try this.
Don't put me away.
I spoiled him way too hard this morning.
What's his favorite treat?
He has these like long stick things that he likes to enjoy.
The ones that take forever, those. Like the bully sticks. Aren't those like the penises of another animal?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm guessing they are. Yeah, so he's pretty good. He really doesn't like going outside in his pen, so I think he's gonna behave now. Yeah,
okay,
I spoiled him. It's my fault. Thank you for being patient.
Of course. So your haters online think you're photoshopped, and I guess they tried to do some kind of a deep dive and find a photo of you that I suppose has your real obese body, the one that you're clearly hiding even from us right now.
Yes. So they went online, they actually found a picture, and it's a normal picture, really good picture. It's my family picture from like 3 or 4 years ago. And they're like, aha, and like cropped me out, and I look exactly the same. But they like I think I mean I have kids. I think I might have had like circles under my eyes or something because I'm a mom. Um, so like my makeup wasn't perfect. It was a family picture. I was tired. I had 3 kids under 10. Um, and I didn't look perfect in it. And it was like this, haha, but they cropped it out and they cropped one of my kids out with it and they put me and my kid on Twitter, which is something I
Damn.
really, if I put pictures up of my kids, they're always cropped or really far away where they're obscured. So this was my daughter, like her face on Twitter, and it was horrifying to me.
Ugh.
So, yeah. So I reported it to Twitter. I honestly didn't think anything would happen, and they got back to me, and they're like, actually, this does violate our rules. If you take a picture, if somebody takes a picture of you from another media site and they put it onto Twitter, then that and they don't have your permission to do that, and you report it, then that violates our rules, and they have to take it down. They don't get their account back until they take it down. So this
Wow.
guy got,
Which is
yep.
exactly what's happening with like the Eliza Bleu thing and Venti and quartering. So it's
Hmm.
like, I mean, but in the instance you're describing, that's what you want the rules for. You don't want somebody to be able to post photos of your kids.
Of
And
my child, exactly.
it's almost like, okay, that's their blanket rule. If and it's almost like, okay, was Eliza right to claim that it was a non-consensual use of a photo, but it was a screenshot from a public YouTube video. So maybe it's like took advantage of a loophole, or the rules are their
Yeah.
rules and she just followed and
It
reported
sounds
it.
like the rules are their rules, and she, exploited this loophole that's used, for people like me to protect my children when people try to exploit them. And she used it and exploited it herself. And then it sounded like she took credit for it almost. I don't know if they were in there actually changing rules around or anything, but if I'm not mistaken, the Quartering and Brittany Venti both got the same thing saying just take it down. You can have your account back. If they were
Right.
locked out for any longer than that, there's a there's an issue. There's a big issue there if they weren't able to come back even after they deleted it or anything.
Well, I think Quartering did delete his, but I
Hmm.
think Venti did not, and she's still
She's
suspended.
holding
She's
strong. Yep.
holding it down, although
Holding it
I
down.
don't know.
Keep
I w
appealing it.
I would understand at this point, like, it's the topic of so many conversations online that, like, if she deleted it just to come back so she could be on Twitter, like, I would understand because it doesn't look
Yeah.
like it doesn't look like the rules are gonna change anytime soon. So it's like, does she just not wanna have a Twitter over this? Like, does this wanna be
Yep.
I mean, everybody already knows the deal,
Exactly.
but
So
but I'm glad that you shared, like, I mean, that's a case where we want this Twitter rule to be in place. Like, we want somebody to be able to, like, get a picture of their kid removed. Um,
hmm
I feel pretty strongly about that. I mean, most people do, and especially if, like, someone's just trying to hate on you and being like, "Oh, look, here's your kid." It's like, the kid's not
yeah.
involved. Like, they did not ask to be
Yeah. You
a
keep
public
kids out of
figure.
it. This is very and this is a hard line I have for people too. If they bring up my kids unsolicited, if they obviously show a picture of them, anything, like they are just I cut them out, I block them, I report them, I do whatever I need to, and then that's it. That's my hard line. Like that's I don't screw around with that.
Yeah, and you yourself were banned from Twitter. You're the account that's scrolling down below. It's TRHL official. That was your original account, but you
Yes.
got banned, and I think created a whole nother account, which was
hmm
starting to build up a good following. And then suddenly you got this original account back. What were you first, I guess, banned or suspended for?
I never found out. I just tried to log on one day and couldn't. And they said, okay, they're like, okay, well, if you think that this is a mistake, you can appeal it. So I did. And they're like, okay, we'll get back to you in 10 business days. I'm like, okay, cool. And then they never did. So I just kept repealing, or I kept appealing for like 3 or 4 months. And it just, nothing ever came of it. And then I got hit with a permanent suspension. I have no idea what I
Jesus.
did. I was I never even had. I think I had like one DMAC violation, like
Okay.
where there was music playing in a video, in ever. but other than that, I never did anything wrong. I was never banned, nothing like that. So I was totally blindsided, and it was really hard, really unfair. And so I that was the Redheaded Libertarian account that got suspended, and so I'm like, okay, I kind of just gave up on it and said, all right, well, I'm guess I'm gonna create another one. I'm gonna go be Queen Josie, KWEENJOSIE. And I got on that one, and when the Redheaded Libertarian was banned, it had 86,000 followers, and it just banned. And so I started Queen Josie. I got Queen Josie up to almost 50,000, and
Wow.
then Elon on April 26th or 27th, he announces, "Hey, I'm gonna buy Twitter." The next day, I got my account back out of the blue.
Wow.
The next day, yep, they're just like, "Oh, here's your account back, by the way."
So it was never made clear, and you never suspected, okay, it was this particular tweet or that particular tweet that got
No,
you
it
taken down.
happened right after Joe Biden took office, like almost immediately
Wow.
after.
It's like,
Mhm.
how do you not be conspiratorial when that sort of thing happens to you? It's like, how
Yeah,
do
it
you
was
not
really
think that you're on some kind of list or something? It's like,
exactly, and I wasn't even that much of a shit poster or anything. I just kind of was doing my thing.
yeah. So now you have this account back, and it's like all the way up to 320.5K.
It took off when I got back.
I mean, mine kind
Insane.
of did too. It's like, it's hard for me to like completely, I mean, selfishly, I'm
Yeah.
like, yay, Alon. Cause like now I'm up to like 139K, which is wild and I
Nice.
never expected.
Mhm.
Um, but it's crazy. It sucks when they never tell you what exactly you were banned for. And it seems like they even still make up the
I think
rules as
that
they go along.
yeah, I think that we were, I was just banned, like because of maybe an affiliation that I had. Maybe I talked too much about something I wasn't supposed to talk about, and it sent up a flag. I don't know. I'm sure they don't even know what I was banned for. They would just put people on lists and ban them.
Yeah. Damn.
Hmm.
Crazy. But you're back now. And
I am.
there, a lot of people are talking about this, no, Eliza Bleu, Brittany Venti quartering censorship issue. I think it's more of a censorship concern than it is like a person is lying about their past, but it's hard to separate one from the other. And I've just been observing, I feel like a lot of people are starting to come after the shows that they think should be acknowledging or talking about this. And I don't know, I think that's it's kind of a waste of time because like if a show or a person doesn't want to talk about it, you can't make them. And
Hmm.
I think when you get followers of a show, they feel kind of like they're part of a community, or you want your voice to matter. You want to feel like you have some say. And I have been noticing like people have been giving Tim a lot of shit for not he hasn't talked about this yet, or maybe he is working on something, but I don't know.
Yeah, it
I
said
just
this morning that the quartering was supposed to go on a show, but he flaked. I guess Jeremy said he flaked. Um, and but that they scheduled it like a month back, so they weren't planning to talk about the Eliza stuff because it hadn't happened yet. But he
right.
was supposed to be on the show and then wasn't. So Tim was like, "Well, I would have talked about it with Jeremy, But I think you have to stay on brand with what your followers are into, and we talk about geopolitics or we talk about like Scooby Doo. I mean, fun stuff, video games. There's not a lot of drama that we talk about on Timcast. We don't really go into the drama sect of it, as the followers aren't really that much into it, I guess, as much as they're into, Dungeons and Dragons and Magic the Gathering. So,
Yeah, I'm gonna pull up the website. Yeah, I mean, you also it's just I've never known the show to get into right interpersonal YouTuber drama, which this
mhm.
certainly does also fall under. So it's got to be tricky. But then
Yeah.
some people are like, "Oh, well, you guys covered the Steven Crowder Daily Wire." But again, that deals more with, I guess, a network.
Yeah, that comes down to a network and business dealings and big tech censorship again.
Yeah, so it's kind of like I can understand like talking about the censorship part of it, but you can't not also talk about the interpersonal Eliza and her story part. And I think
Yeah.
I think folks just want to stay away from, especially like a guy saying like, "Oh, this is a woman who straight up lied about being a sexual assault survivor." I think nobody really wants to be like on
Yeah.
record stating that when it's such a murky thing to even prove. I mean, it's murky. Her story has been murky since day one, so it's
Yeah. She was never, I mean, at first it was protecting her own privacy. So nobody really questioned it beyond that. It's like, well, I was a sex trafficking survivor, and I'm not going to give you my my captors' names because I it could they could hurt me. So it's like, okay, nobody really. It was like the perfect story, like because nobody
it
could really
was.
dig into it. Um, and it's just the people who are hurt by this is like, I mean, I'm hurt. I considered her one of my friends, and I feel lied to.
No.
I can't see how she's telling the truth at this point. And I'd like her to come out and say whatever she needs to say to clear her name. I'd love that. Um, but the people who are getting hurt is the survivors of sexual assault who trusted her, and you know who the sex trafficking victims who, like, she was a voice for them while all this was going on. She continued to be a great voice for them, but this is a distraction now to them. Is her own personal thing. It's just sad.
A lot of people have been saying, yeah, if Eliza really helped all these people, like you don't see any of them coming out and saying, "Oh, like let's stop bashing on Eliza. She actually really helped me." But that's what's tricky too, because if she really did help real survivors who are feeling kind of broken and don't want to be a public person, I could understand like if these survivors really exist that she really helped, I could see them not wanting to like come forward and be made a public figure just to
Yeah,
defend Eliza. It's almost like it works kind of perfectly. It's like the people that I've helped supposedly are also the type of people who may not come forward and like out themselves as, you know, assault or sex trafficking survivors. So it's like a perfect thing to take advantage of. People just have
yeah,
to like trust that you mean what you
mhm.
say.
Yeah, because who would lie about something like that?
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. It's just something that goes beyond empathy.
And most people don't know very many or any sex trafficking survivors. Like this wasn't even something we talked about
Hmm.
before the pandemic. So
Yep.
like I just can't remember anybody bringing it up as an issue. Like you always heard about migrants and illegal immigration and
Yeah, the
drugs coming
coyotes
through
all
the
happening across the
yeah.
border. Yeah, we heard about that all the time, but no, in America, just started hearing about it around the time of the pandemic.
Yeah. It's so I want to hear from her too. Like if it were me, I would be like, "Oh my god, the internet is
I
mad
need
at
to clear my
me.
name.
There's a lot of
Hmm.
misconceptions. Like, don't you want to be understood? Like, don't you want people to be on your side? Like, please give us a reason to be on your side." And you said
Yep.
like you were friendly with her. Was it just through, like just chatting on the internet, or like had you ever had her on a show or anything?
No, just chatting on the internet. I mean, she went on
Yeah.
Timcast. She went on, like, a lot of my friends' podcasts. She went on Liberty Lockdown. She went on different podcasts. I associated with
Oh.
her. We were within similar circles. Um, so it's just it feels like a lot of people were misled, and duped by her, but she's not. She's just doubling down and doubling down and doubling down, and it's like, well, there's an easy way to clear your name. You clear up your timeline, and you know dox your attackers, and there you go, and it's cleared everything up, and you get the last word in, like,
And actually
it's
it does good to name your traffickers because then people can stay
why
away
would you
from them,
protect them? Exactly, they could hurt other people.
especially if they are a high profile. At one point, she said high profile athlete, then she said high profile photographer. It's like, wouldn't you want other girls, models, etc., to stay away from working with this specific photographer?
Yeah,
That's the part that I
yeah,
don't get.
exactly. It seems like, that be part of your mission and your platform to help young girls is to say, okay, well, don't go near this photographer, he's bad. this athlete,
Yeah.
he's bad.
Pretty sus. Oh, Matthew Hammond, thank you for the super chat. Josie is the best. They complained about her cheekbones. What is up with that? How is Figaro? Is Figaro your cat?
Figaro's my cat. Yeah. He's good.
People really are hating on people. I think it's if you're a hot and a mom, people get very upset. You're like, no, you're a mom. You're supposed to completely let your body go to shit now.
Yeah, and if you're intelligent on top of it, you know, you can't be hot and intelligent and a mom. It's like this. You can't be all three. You gotta.
You can't. Yeah. You can't
Yeah,
be a triple
you
threat.
can't.
I don't have that problem.
Well, you're hot.
RJ Munster for 5. Why should we take libertarians seriously? They can't answer the question, who will build the roads? I've heard
Have
this
you
brought up.
seriously? Have you literally never driven on a private road? Never driven on a toll road?
That's
Never.
true. There are toll roads.
There are toll roads.
And the tolls pay for the roads.
Yeah.
There
So
you
you
go.
drop 50 cents in a bucket every time you drive through, and you pay for it, or you get your fast pass to get through it. You know, we have a sun pass here in Florida. It gets you through the private roads. You know, like
That's true.
this is not hard.
So what? We would just pay a toll for every single roll we went on, or maybe it's just like a subway pass or a railroad pass where you pay a certain amount.
Like that.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's just it cuts out the middleman, and you know the roads actually get fixed. That's the thing, because I mean, God, I lived up in Massachusetts, and there were public roads everywhere, and there's just potholes all over the place, and they never got fixed. And then when the bridges needed to be fixed, it takes 3, 4, 5 years to do that. So, but when you have a private road that there's potholes, they're fixed like record speed, you know? So everything that the government does, the private sector can do better, except for war.
That's true. And I'll never forget, Larry Sharp really sold me on this idea he had. I don't know if you're familiar with Larry Sharp. He ran for governor of New York.
Governor of New York, yeah.
And his idea is that, like, whatever bridge it is, because you said, like, the bridges get years to be fixed. Like, if this is the Verizon bridge, this is the Sprint bridge, and they're responsible. They can put their logo on top, whatever, but they're responsible for all the maintenance, everything that goes into it, and it's advertising. So,
and it reflects them poorly. If there's a big old pothole on Sprint bridge, then you know that's going to look bad on Sprint. So they're going to want to fix that.
Yeah, they could even say like, "Oh, here's the, I don't know, Wi-Fi password for the bridge." If it's like you're going to be stuck in traffic or something, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not a bridge person.
There's ways. There are ways.
But I loved that idea, and I was like, "Why?" That makes so much sense. Like, aren't we trying to have big sponsors? Like they sponsor baseball stadiums, they'll sponsor like sporting events. So it's like, why can we not do this for?
Why not sponsor the infrastructure? Exactly.
I don't get. Why don't you think that that's the case? Because they'd have to dislodge the government from it.
Pretty much, the government doesn't like relinquishing any power whatsoever.
Ugh. I'm so annoyed with the government right now. Oh my God, Tim got duped and they're not gonna address it. Well, I think it's just what Josie was saying is like, I really do understand how the kind of the vibe of the show. It's like, I don't think he wants to get too much into the drama. And it's like, this story is tricky because you can't really address the censorship piece without addressing the drama and the lying and the grifting. And it's a tough spot to be in. Kevin Brady, we keep saying she's giving them a voice. How? Right. Like, is anyone going to come forward and be like, okay, I didn't want to do this? Or they could create like a fake account, right? Couldn't they say, I see everyone shitting on Eliza. She helped me through this problem.
Eliza could create a fake account and do it. I mean, she has.
Why hasn't she done that? That seems like some shit you do.
Yeah, it seems right up there, but I think there's probably some personality disorders in there, and this is making sense in her head how it's playing out, and she's getting attention, and negative attention is attention. So there's no real need to clear her name.
God, wouldn't that be something if it really just came down to attention? Didn't matter if it was negative, didn't matter if like the whole internet is mad at you and you're just like, woohoo, I'm trending. Oh.
Yeah. What she did do at the beginning, and we have to give her credit for it, is she did help Elon or direct him or whatever to get the sex trafficking off of Twitter that was happening, and he doubled down and got all that crap off. And that was,
right. And I
in
know
part to
that
her.
I know that is something that people say, but it does make you question, like, okay, was there ever any proof that she actually did that?
There was a conversations they had publicly, Elon and her. They would talk back and forth publicly. He went into one of her spaces and talked about it. She was definitely working to get into his circle. It felt like, but
yeah.
it's something that was important to him was getting the sex trafficking off of Twitter, and it was the first thing he did. And whether how much she guided him or encouraged him, or I'm not sure, but that was how she got kind of into his good graces was off the backs of sex trafficking, but it did get off of Twitter, which is good.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like Elon is a smart guy. I don't know that why would he have
gives
needed
the benefit of the doubt to people because he felt like he trusted her like everybody else did, and she came out and said, "Hi, I'm this high profile, whatever. This is a big problem here," and he's like, "Okay, I'm listening," and that's what it came down to.
Yeah, I mean, if it is fixed, it doesn't matter who fixed it ultimately.
Exactly. And ultimately, he fixed it. She didn't get on Twitter and start getting her hands dirty and writing code and investigating or anything like that. She just said, "Hey, this is happening," and he said, "Oh, let's talk about it," and went to a space, talked about it, and got rid of it. So
maybe her next name change, she'll learn to write code and she'll change her name and she'll be
Eliza Code.
Yeah, Eliza Code. Instead of Eliza Cuts, Eliza Codes. Like BRB. I'm just gonna be a tech nerd. I like that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tiff, for the super chat. Do you feature authors, Chrissy? Love you both. Yes, I've totally featured authors. I've had Sebastian Gorka on. I've had God, I
you
have
should
all
have
their
Tiff
books
on.
here. Tiff, you're an author?
Yes, actually.
Oh, actually, wait, I met you.
Yeah, her book is actually propping up my camera right now, so I can't show you. I have her book right here helping me get my camera to the right angle.
Tiff,
but it's
yes, I
called
would love to
Ancient
have
Remedies with Essential Oils. Yeah, she's awesome.
Dude, absolutely. Let's talk about that because I lost an Instagram account. I'll never forget it. It was like March of 21. And I was just posting like herbs, like something in my story about herbs. And they nuked my whole Instagram account because they thought I was promoting false COVID cures. I was so shocked.
Incredible.
Like
it just throws up an algorithm and it's like, oh, this isn't working. This is an algorithm now.
Over a fucking story.
Herbs.
It's annoying. Yeah. I don't know. It's tricky. I wonder if the internet does love drama. The internet does love when YouTubers fight.
Yep.
Is this ultimately going to affect? That's I think a big concern is people go, wow, if Eliza has a lot of pull at Twitter, she doesn't even work for Twitter, but if she is in tight with the trust and safety lady, well, then it's like this platform is now vulnerable to whoever who is just charismatic and can like get in there. And
I think she fooled a lot of people. And I mean, what they saw was, hey, we're gonna protect the sex trafficking victims, from early on when Elon first took over. And then they saw her, a sex trafficking victim, quote unquote, being exploited. So they followed their own rule and were like, okay, we're gonna protect you. That's what.
Right.
But then again, like I said at the beginning of the show, it could just be Twitter's old rules enforced. But the fact that the trusted safety lady was posting at the same time as Eliza about some drama. I don't know. There's too many variables.
That's the kind of manipulative part of it. It's not enough to just be someone who works for a cause. It's the fact that when you decide to put yourself out there as an abuse victim survivor, well, now it's like you've got this extra bumper of nobody can touch you. It's like if you're trans, it's like, no, I'm trans. You can't question anything I do or say. And I kind of, I'm allowed to be like let off the hook for things because I'm part of this victim group. It's same thing. If you say you're a survivor, that you've suffered abuse.
You're untouchable.
Especially, you're untouchable. Nobody can question you. And it is very similar to the trans thing. Like,
Yes.
we can't talk about your timeline because now you're triggered. Oh, what about your dates? Can you clarify some of these things? No, I'm triggered. I'm a survivor. And it's like, oof.
Yeah. And at the same time, we all have to know, kind of as a culture moving forward, it is not our responsibility to protect you from being triggered. It's your responsibility to figure out how to work through your triggers, how to not be triggered by them. You know, like, how narcissistic does a person have to be to think that they can go through life without ever being offended by anything, without ever being triggered by anything? It's a big, big problem we have in our culture.
Don't you want to be the kind of person who leads by example? Like, wouldn't you want other human trafficking survivors to be able to function and live their lives without being constantly triggered and like shutting down in conversation and pushing people away? Like, wouldn't she want others to see, like, no, you can answer questions, you can heal from this, you can
the only way to heal through it is go through it. You gotta push through it. You know, if it did indeed happen to her, the way to do it is to push through it. That's it. There's
I
no
hate to say suck it up, but like, we all fucking have trauma. We all have things that happen to us that we have to
a lot of times
get through.
your trauma's like a trauma or a horror that you went through is something that propels you to become something bigger. But in order to do that, you have to push through that horror, because there's something bigger inside of you that you might not even know is there. It's some kind of code that you haven't unlocked yet, that you can unlock with yourself after dealing with a trigger.
Right. And hard times are supposed to like build you up and strengthen you. You're not supposed to use your hard times as a shield from criticism or from questioning.
Exactly.
Discount superhero Eliza Bleu. James Patras, the quartering, posted a new Eliza Bleu files. Oh,
a new one.
He's got his account back. He is fired up. He probably was like frothing at the mouth, like, I gotta. But I read in the chat that somebody said that they think Twitter deleted his tweets, that he did not himself delete the tweets to get his account
I don't
back.
know. That'd be something we could ask.
Yeah.
But I mean, it'd be a bigger. I wouldn't blame him for deleting, a year-old tweet that everybody's already seen. We've all seen it. You can delete it now. Like, it's fine. Get your Twitter account back and, do what you do best and spread the news and the word and, update people on things. Like, because you sometimes you have to kind of just take the hit and, make a little bit of a sacrifice in order to do, I hate using it, but greater good.
And everyone's seeing the screenshots. Like, everyone knows the deal.
Everybody knows.
Who's been following. Okay, this is just 11 minutes ago. In yesterday's Eliza Bleu files, I reintroduced the internet to Eliza Bleu, the activist that has the power to change the rules at Twitter and ban and censor her critics. Today, we get to part 2, how a cloud coughlin falsely took credit for Twitter removing child porn. And this is a point that Quartering makes a lot. Everyone's going, she's doing great work, which I was one of these people. I was this great person in the back going, wow, all the great work, because I've heard so many times.
She aligned herself with it. Everything great that was happening, she aligned herself with it. So, and we had no reason to not believe her.
And that is a good lesson. Just because you hear something said over and over, don't be afraid to continue to question something that is maybe a given, or, oh, we're all saying this, right? I don't know. It's definitely a good lesson for me too. Eliza Bleu burst into the scene through a combination of running the conservative libertarian podcast scene, and one viral Twitter thread claiming to have gotten child porn removed from Twitter on November 20th. The problem? She lied. Ooh. And then it links to this article here. Let's see what happens if I click on that. Anything crazy? Oh, this is archived today. Is this the Wayback Machine? I never really used the Wayback Machine. I think I'm intimidated by it, to be honest. Okay, post from November 2022. Wow,
he does his homework. Jeremy is great at what he does.
This is why we needed him back on Twitter. Okay, this is from... And I'm blocked, so I'm glad that this is here. So Eliza says, wow, the most popular hashtag used to sell child sexual abuse material on Twitter is almost completely cleaned out. I'm not going to post the hashtag for obvious reasons, but if any organization, law enforcement, or journalist wants me to send them the hashtag information, I will. It's public information, but I don't want to broadcast it because there are still 3 old tweets available. Correction, the 3 biggest hashtags used by child abusers selling child sexual abuse material on Twitter have virtually been eliminated. This is huge. To those who aren't aware yet, last week Twitter did add a direct reporting option for child sexual exploitation only on tweets with content, images, videos. This was not previously available and was a separate form that wasn't easy to find. I'm grateful to see these changes. And then she highlights, I guess, what happens when you go to submit a claim. Okay. Update. I have spoken to a journalist whom I trust that reached out. This individual was brave enough to go and check out the situation, including the hashtags. The information will be released soon while being mindful of the safety for those impacted by this crime. Again, this all sounds like somebody who cares a lot,
Yeah,
Easy to
that's exactly. This is the stuff that I was seeing from her when I, began following her and associating with her.
Yeah. Here's a video that explains the hashtag system used on Twitter to share and sell child sexual exploitation content on a massive scale. That video was put out by the legal team representing the 2 minor survivors currently suing Twitter. And I think that's who she refers to when she says like John Doe. Someone who I guess for years couldn't get their CP that someone had created of them off Twitter, and it sounded pretty bad. Update. Some of the other hashtags outside of the main 3 are still actively engaging in sharing and posting illegal child exploitation. Please be mindful of this. All right. So it sounds like, okay, it's like a false alarm. Oh, we did it. We saved Twitter. And now it's like, uh-oh, people are still doing it. This is all in the same day. Update. I have made the decision to give this information to a second journalist that I had no previous relationship with. This is a fair, transparent, and honest way to proceed. Oh my God. And this Tesla Roddy. This is how we get to the Tesla Roddy article that I found the other day, and a lot of other people have been using in their streams. Basically like her making a bid for Elon and saying, oh, the minds at Tesla need to work on the problem of CP. And I think this is the same article where she's got a Tesla T shaved into her head. Like, it's very obvious that she is like gunning for his attention. Yeah, I did bring this up the other day. Yeah. Under Elon Musk, Twitter is taking child exploitation seriously. Okay, maybe this is an earlier article by Tesla Roddy. Yeah, John Doe 1 and John Doe 2 were minors who were sexually exploited, and videos of that exploitation were posted to Twitter when the 2. And this is why I had Eliza on my fucking show to begin with, was to talk about this whole thing because it sounds horrible. It was this ongoing lawsuit that was going on against Twitter before Elon purchased it. When the 2, who are now adults, begged Twitter to remove the content, Twitter refused, and they actually famously claimed, "Oh, it doesn't affect our TOS." And it's like the TOS, it seems like it's doing a massive overcorrection that can be abused.
Yeah.
Blue pointed out a few key changes Twitter has made under its new leadership. But yeah, she is like, devil's advocate. Let's say that this is not her doing. She's just keeping a very close watch on it, and she's constantly talking about it. So it sounds like she's involved.
Yeah, that's true.
It's almost like she faked it till she made it. Like, kept talking about Elon, kept talking about Twitter, kept talking
sounding
about
like
Tesla.
Just enough, like, which could be the whole thing with the ban too, sounding like she was directly involved with it, like she has the power to do that, the power to move things around. What else does Jeremy say after this? Like, oh, but she lied, and then it linked to this.
Okay. Let me go back to his thread because he's a good thread. Okay, and that was that first article. Do you mean this thread, or do you mean like what Quartering was saying?
The new one, what the Quartering was saying. He started when he started the new thread, and we were reading it.
Okay, so before I get to that, this is interesting. None of the information I spoke about in the thread is private or unavailable to the public. I won't tweet the hashtags. And then she said, I want to make this clear. I don't work for Twitter, Elon, any government, political party, group, etc. I run my own account. I've never been paid to tweet or compensated in any way. I'm here to serve. So strange that she feels the need to say this.
Yeah. So that's interesting because she was almost separating herself. It's kind of like what people do when they are working for somebody is tweets, retweets are not endorsements, or my tweets are my own, or
Yeah, why do you even
things
have
like
to
that,
say
separate
that?
themselves. Yeah, so you say things like that to avoid a conflict of interest, not but you really don't need to do that when you're on your own,
Right. It's obvious that she's her own person. Why would you think that she works for any of
Yeah,
these people? Because if she did, she'd put it in her bio. You'd be like, "Oh, I'm the new sex abuse person
whatever.
for Twitter or whatever." You'd be gloating
Yeah.
about it.
Hmm.
Important to note, Elon Musk himself liked a tweet in this thread last night. If this information wasn't valid, if it wasn't factual, that wouldn't have happened. She's already bragging about getting a like from Elon.
Hmm. Well, I've had 3
Ugh.
conversations with the Elon, so take that.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, he's just commented 3 times on my stuff.
No, that's a big deal. He hasn't
It's
noticed
cool.
any of my shit. I gotta tag
He
him
will.
more.
Tag him. Tag his ass.
So here we go back to Quartering's thread. As early as December 1st, people on Twitter were pointing out the contradictions in her claims. Users were reporting publicly that there was still plenty of activity being used to trade child exploitation material. She ignored them, and here is Gabe from An Open Secret tweeting out certain people have published a false narrative that the 3 top hashtags used to trade CP were removed from Twitter through automated processes after Elon Musk purchased the company. We know for a fact this is false. We are working with a media outlet to reveal the evidence. This is on December 1st.
Certain people. That's interesting.
Yeah. And Open Secret is I think it's a documentary that dealt with I think pedos in Hollywood. So it's like these people have a vested interest.
Yes.
December 3rd,
This is another thing. The fact that you don't like CP is not something people challenge. Like that's the universal. We all want it gone, So it's like people don't really push back. So it's another thing to not push back on is that it's not just sex trafficking; it's CP.
Yeah. So a story is starting to form here that certain people are trying to take credit for these hashtags being removed. It's like she's just talking. She's just on top of this story, like a fucking fly on shit that people are associating her with it. It's really, she's such a good example of fake it till you make it.
Yeah. And she did. She's been all over the place. She's been with Tyra Banks on the Steve Harvey show, and she's dated the lead singer of Chemical Romance.
Yeah, how many different industries and spheres has she been able to get into? She must be smart in some ways, like interpersonally smart.
Yes, definitely interpersonally smart.
She can get in with people and groups. Okay, so then Quartering says on December 3rd, these popular sex trafficking hashtags remained live on Twitter. People close to Eliza were begging her to address the issue and get back to work with her apparent Twitter connections. She ignored it as the new followers poured in. Okay. 2 years ago, I provided Twitter comms with a hashtag that was being used to trade CP on. All right, so Jeremy wouldn't post something that could get him. Okay, so I'll just. 2 years ago, I provided Twitter comms with a hashtag that was being used to trade CP on this app. Despite all the Elon fanfare, it's as active as ever. There's even a photo of a little girl promoting the abuse. Ugh, gross.
Oh, God.
Okay, that's like blurred out.
They're monsters. Oh, thank God.
You can't see anything. Quartering would never have something in his tweet thread that would, you know what I mean? It's all blurred out. You can't really see. So she ignored this concern. Curiously, pro Elon Musk outlet Teslarati had an article written and ready to go and released the same day as the viral Eliza Bleu thread. The article was published on November 19th, making the exact same claims as Eliza Bleu and was shared in the same thread. Seems like coordinated PR. Interesting.
Who wrote it?
This Joanna Kreider from Teslarati.
Interesting.
Yeah. How would Eliza, a nobody who works with nobody, who's independent, suddenly get with Tesla PR?
That's interesting.
Eliza Bleu, a relatively obscure small account on Twitter, gained 48,000 followers in November, and an additional 116,000 new followers on the back of being touted as the slayer of CP on Twitter. The only problem is it was still there. It never went anywhere. Hundreds of thousands of people saw the thread and thought CP was gone. It was not. And the worst part is once that you do that, people stop looking. People move on because they think the problem is solved. Yeah, of course. For weeks, tens of thousands of followers poured in. The CP remained live, and Eliza Bleu issued 0 corrections. As late as December 4th, Twitter was reaching out to other people to help fix it. It turns out the CP reporting system was broken and still was at this point. And this is a tweet from Slatzism Small, but promising update. The head of Twitter safety reached out directly to me about an hour ago. After a short exchange, the account with the photo of the little girl has been suspended. Fine. Okay, thank God. In fact, as late as December 6th, the CP still roamed free on Twitter. Almost 2 weeks after Eliza Bleu claimed it was gone and suggested to be partly responsible. Bottom line, Eliza Bleu went viral as a savior of exploited children, but when the chips were down and it was clear she was wrong, she abandoned them in exchange for followers and clout. Just getting started on the Eliza Bleu files, her insidious relationship with Twitter, corruption, and lies. Thankful for you. And if you want to follow me, support me, subscribe to YouTube and coffee. His coffee, guys. Now I feel like I have to check out his coffee. But yeah, when Jeremy wants to do a deep dive on something, you're not going to stop him.
Yeah, he does really, really great work.
Okay. Wow. Okay, so many messages. Wow. Okay. Your dog is being so well behaved. I'm very impressed.
He just. Thank you for the shout
From
out, Josie.
Thank you, Tiff, for the super chat. Thank you for the shout out, Josie. I'd love to come on. Thanks. Sorry you got banned, Chrissy. Oh yeah, that it's okay. I made a new Instagram and it's more than the other one. It's I'm back.
Nice.
Frank, you said you sent me something. I don't have it here. Okay. Here it is. Now we have a clip. What is this? Oh, this is from the Liberty Lockdown podcast that we mentioned before. Let's pull this up. This is from Bluey Anon. This is an account that has been following the Eliza stuff pretty closely. Okay. Oh, she said something. She said in her perfect utopia, a neighbor would get to decide if a 13-year-old can consent to sex with an adult. No, wait, what? How long is this clip? 55 seconds?
We acknowledge that there are people who are 13, 14, 15 that have sex with an adult and then feel as if they were taken advantage of too.
Oh, 100%.
Okay,
so let's focus on the worst.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's pretend like we all have our like utopia. So if I could answer this in utopia, right? In my like perfect in-cap utopia, each community and each so it'd be each caregiver, parent, and community, including teachers, potential faith leaders, and neighbors, will decide if the child is ready to consent and look at the child's behavior. Do they have a job? How is their education going? Are they cognitively available to have sex with this individual? And then also look at the history of the individual as well. So does this individual have a history of abuse?
Yep.
And then you go from there.
Certainly.
Wait, what? Wait.
Yeah,
what?
imagine. I know Thaddeus is big on the child can consent thing too, and I believe Clint had. I knew Thaddeus was on. I didn't know Eliza was, but Clint had Thaddeus on to push back against that. So I just want to make that really clear, like that.
So Thaddeus is pro child consent or anti?
Pro child consent. And it sounds like Eliza is pro child consent in her utopia. And I know
it sounds like what
that's
she's
what
saying
that sounded
is
like, right?
You're a child, which means you're under 18, which means
Yep.
it's up to your community can decide whether or not you can have sex. That sounds
like a
strange
cult.
to me.
That sounds like a cult.
I don't.
That's
Yeah,
what they do in cults.
I really don't like that. Like again, of course,
That
like
makes my skin crawl. Ugh.
you can't. I mean, yeah. Did I? I mean, no. Actually, no. I didn't.
I
I
remember when Clint was bringing Thaddeus on, because Thaddeus had made some sort of overreaching comment about children can consent, 13-year-olds can consent. I don't remember what he said, but Clint's like, all right, I'm going to have him on my show. I'm going to push back. And a lot of people were like, you shouldn't platform him. And Liberty Lockdown was like, no, I'm going to platform him because I'm going to push back against this. This is what you do. You
like
put your predators in plain sight and you drag them. Oh,
I don't like this. She's basically saying, like, let's say you have a 16-year-old who has what you have to have a job, and then that means you can have sex with like some old creeper. What like if a guy has a clean
because the community said that was
either she's misspoke. I mean, that sounds really bad. That
I can't think of a way. I mean, the only way I could think that could even be close to a misspeaking is that each state has an age of consent. It could be like I don't know the ages of consent. It's 16 in some states, it's 18 in other states. I think one state has 14 or 15. So that would be a very poor way of misspeaking, but I don't think she knows that.
You know what? I think Eliza is such a chameleon. Like I've never in any other, and I've been watching a lot of her appearances over the last week. I've never on any other appearance that I've heard her be on say in my ANCAP utopia. She's clearly chameleoning who she is. She's shape shifting because she's on Liberty Lockdown, and they're all, what are they? Anarchists, libertarians,
ANCAPs, libertarians. Yeah, he's
changing her language to fit this podcast, just like she put on her black scent to do Hotep Jesus's show, just like she put on her black scent to do the World Star interview. She is just, I think she learns the buzzwords of whatever show or community she's about to go on and just puts that on display so that she can get in with people.
That's a mirroring technique, and it's done. Narcissists do that.
Because this clip is not good. It's almost like she's saying, like, well, a community can decide if they can let their kids have sex. What does that mean? With other kids? Does that mean with adults? Like, that doesn't sound good to me. Like, I didn't have
it sounds like she didn't
19.
Sounds like she didn't specify for a reason, but I don't know that. I just, oh God, that's disgusting. I can't think of a way that could be
Yeah,
I don't know how we're mishearing that. I'm trying to think about it objectively, and I'm having trouble.
Either she's trying to fit in so badly that she said something that sounds.
Well, Thaddeus is nodding the entire time. He's nodding, so I don't know if he's nodding in agreement or nodding for some other reason. So it sounds like she's on kin with him. Ugh.
Right, like maybe they're both in agreement. Yeah, is it about the states, or is it like the community can decide? Like, it did sound creepy to me.
It is.
Like, of course, like, I mean, I'm sure like most people are doing stuff before they turn 18. Like I wasn't having sex, but I was like doing other stuff before I was 18. And it wasn't like a community decision.
Yeah,
it was also with other teenagers.
Yeah, if you're 16 and they're 16, okay, but I mean, like it didn't. There was no specification of teens with other teens.
Me no likey that clip. Ugh, that does not help you, Eliza. Yeah. Chat Nesk, another great What Spot. I love that show. Oh, thank you. That is my Monday show on Compound Media. Dalamar, opinions expressed in the super chat are my own. I was under multi NDAs and employment that required I add that to my socials with my real name, one being Google. Thanks, Dalamar. I want to play this clip again. Okay, I'm going to play this again because this is really like, I want to make sure I'm hearing what she's saying.
Certainly acknowledge that there are many people who are, 13, 14, 15 that have sex with an adult and then feel as if they were taken advantage of too.
Oh, 100%.
Okay, so let's focus on the worst.
Many, yeah.
Okay, so let's pretend like we all have our like utopia. So if I could answer this in utopia, right? In my like perfect ANCAP utopia. Each community and each so it'd be each caregiver, parent, and community, including teachers, potential faith leaders, and neighbors, will decide if the child is ready to consent. And
ew, what does that sound like? The teachers get to decide if you're ready to consent?
And the faith leaders?
We want the teachers
Yeah, she
staying the
listed
fuck
off
away from those decisions.
parents, faith leaders, and teachers are the 3 primary people that assault children. Like, what the?
No, my God.
There's no good way to hear that. I'm
No.
writing it down to see if I can interpret it. No, it
There's
got
no-
worse. It somehow
It
got
gets
worse.
worse. It gets worse the more you
It
listen
got
to
worse,
it.
Chrissie.
Teachers, potential faith community, each community, and each so it'd be each caregiver, parent, and community, including teachers, potential faith leaders, and neighbors, will decide.
And we forgot neighbors. We got neighbors, Josie.
This is getting worse.
Have you even met your neighbors? Do you want your neighbors in charge of who your kids have sex with?
Oh my God. So they decide if the child is ready.
Ugh.
By what criteria do they decide if the child is ready? I mean,
well, do they have an internship? Do they have a job?
Yeah.
Do they carry a wallet?
This is so culty.
This is icky.
Ew.
If the child is ready to consent, and look at the child's behavior. Do they have a job? How is their education going? Are they cognitively available to have sex with this individual? And
what are they?
That's wild. I mean, you can have a kid who's like a firstborn, an oldest. They take care of a lot of kids. Maybe they take care of their parents as well.
Cognitive function.
They could be
my
very
7-year-old
responsible.
My 7-year-old is gifted. So is she cognitively available for something like that? Like, what the hell does cognitively available for
Sounds
sex?
like you're trying to justify treating a child like an adult. Like,
that's what it sounds like. Cognitively
why the fuck
available.
does it matter what your
This one's a little more
job
mature.
is?
Oh my
why
God.
does it matter? Why does any of that matter? You're a child. Oh my God.
Disgusting.
No.
Chrissie, do you know what time it is? I know. You know what time it is? I don't have a clock. Oh shit, I gotta go get my daughter from school.
Oh no.
I'm glad I asked. Oh my God. No, she's out in 5 minutes.
We just hit an hour, Josie. Yeah, but we did start late. I'm so sorry. I should have
no, that's okay. I'm really glad I asked. I actually was thinking it was closer to 2.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm gonna play the rest of this. But let's I know you have to run, Josie. Where can people follow you other than on Twitter at TRHL official, and on YouTube, Queen Josie, KWEENJOSIE.
Those are my 2 hotspots. That's where you can follow me. This has been really fun, and we were like really just getting going. So I'm disappointed, but I can't be the last parent at pickup.
No, especially when we're literally talking about parents not being responsible.
Being good parents, and I'm like, oh crap, my kid. Exactly.
Aww. Oh, thank you for coming on, much. Josie. Come back anytime.
I'd love to. I'll talk to you soon.
Happy birthday to your dog. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, I'm gonna get back to this clip because I'm sorry. I'm rewinding this whole thing over. I'm EFAPing this. Sorry.
Certainly acknowledge that there are many people who are 13, 14, 15 that have sex with an adult and then feel as if they were taken advantage of too.
Yeah, like I can't imagine a situation where you wouldn't feel that way.
Oh, 100%.
Okay, so let's focus on the worst.
Yeah,
okay, so let's pretend like we all have our like.
This is where libertarians lose so many people when they get into this age of consent topic. This is where you turn off a lot of people that could potentially be on your side.
Utopia. So if I could answer this in utopia, right? In
Eliza's perfect world where kids can have sex with adults is basically what she's saying.
Perfect in cap utopia. Each community, and each so it'd be each caregiver, parent, and community, including teachers, potential faith leaders, and neighbors, will decide if the child is ready to consent and look at the child's behavior. Do they have
No, Eliza, no. Why are you even thinking about this? I just don't like that. I don't like a community deciding whether a kid can have sex. That's, first of all, no, they should not. And I know kids, I mean, it happens, right? Like those of us in the chat, probably a lot of you guys lost your virginity before you were 18 years old. I kind of dabbled. I didn't really lose it till I was 19, but it's because I just wasn't popular. And I was like kind of a prude. But I just, this is not helping, Eliza.
Have a job. How is their education going? And neighbors will decide if the child is ready to consent and look at the child's behavior. Do they have a job? How is their education going? Are they cognitive?
If a 17 or 16-year-old has a job, like I had a lifeguarding job at that age, that has nothing to do with sex.
Available to have sex with this individual, and then also look at the history of the individual as well. So does this individual have a history of abuse?
Yep.
And then you go from there.
Certainly,
No. Oh my God. All right, I'm gonna have to go back and listen to that whole episode now. Thank you to whoever found that. I don't know if that was Frank or he found it from somebody else. From Liberty Lockdown. Let's find out what episode that was from, because I want to rewatch that whole thing now. Okay, Liberty Lockdown, episode 102, Eliza Bleu and Thaddeus Russell. Help. Not good. No bueno. Yeah, he started by saying 13, 14, 15. That is not okay. Yuck, guys. Well, we got a super chat from CA. Thank you, CA. She was good friends with Jeffree Star, coupled with the cult and kid consenting. I'm incredibly disturbed. CP wasn't affected by her despite claims. Yeah. Wow. Let me go back to this quartering thread. I wonder if I missed anything. Okay, I lost it. I lost the thread. Damn, yo. She says something on every appearance that is suspect. You notice that? Like, she can't go one appearance on a show. I should listen back to my episodes with her to see if she says any fucking wild, squirrely shit. Okay, we're back in Quartering's thread here. So he's got receipts that she didn't actually solve the CP problem on Twitter. And in fact, ignored people's concerns that it was still a problem. But she's getting all these followers, and that's what it's about, guys. It's about the shiny Twitter followers. It's about being in the ear of Elon. Yikes. Okay. What came after this? Okay, I did that. She had 0 corrections, even though it was still a problem. Bottom line, Eliza went viral as a savior of exploited children, but when the chips were down and it was clear she was wrong, she abandoned them in exchange for followers and clout. Just getting started on the Eliza Bleu files, her insidious relationship with Twitter, corruption, and lies. Thank you. Thankful for you. And if you want to support me, follow me here, subscribe to my YouTube, or check out my coffee. Also, lol. Eliza Bleu is trending with Elizabeth Warren. Why? Because they both like pretended to be something they weren't. Yep. Wow. What's up, Spectral? Holy crap. $50, that's a lot of money. Thank you for the super chat. She's a chameleon, and thanks for sticking up for Brittany. Not many people do. Oh, thanks, Spectral. She is very much a chameleon. Have you guys heard her say ANCAP on any other podcast? I didn't know she was an anarchist. She's an anarchist when she seems to go on the Liberty Lockdown, and then when she is on with Michael Malice. Brittany's the best. Brittany has a real skill for like poking the beehive, and sometimes the bees come out and sting you, but sometimes you find the honey. I don't know the end of that metaphor. Henrik, thanks for the super chat. Check out Disaffected Podcast. Josh talks about politics and media through a psychological lens. He talks about cluster B personality disorders a lot. Disaffected. Okay. I'm writing it down. My penmanship is really taking a turn. Wow, that hour flew by. Yeah, maybe that's something we can do. We can all go through old episodes that Eliza has been on and see if she says anything sus or anything that's like an obvious lie, or, you know, like in this past episode, something where it sounds like she's supporting maps. That ain't good. Ugh. Or it's like maybe they were just in hypotheticals. I don't know. It's hard to justify that under any circumstance. Save the age of consent video. I think Bluey Anon is who tweeted that out. I'll retweet it. But damn. It was good to have Josie on. I think Josie has had a very fair point of view, especially being somebody who works on Timcast, at least on the website, the media, outside media end of it. And you could tell she was like, yeah, she lied. She, you know what I mean? She had an honest, genuine response to it. Wild. Yeah. She tries to mimic the styles of those around her. She's just playing the character of libertarian. It's like, we're all too old for that. Like, you are, you're an adult. You're a fully formed, be who you are. Don't feel like you have to shape shift to fit the fucking vibe of whatever show you're going on. Unbelievable. Well, this was a good episode. Thank you to Josie, the Redhead Libertarian, for coming on. Always good to have a fellow redhead on the show. Appreciate it. Yeah. Stay tuned. This Eliza stuff is developing every couple hours. Something new comes out. All right, guys. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.